You move through the world trying not to cause friction. You keep things smooth. You notice what might make others uncomfortable and you adjust before it happens. Being easy to be around feels like the right way to exist. It feels considerate. It feels safe. You pay attention to tone. You watch reactions. You sense when something could become awkward and you soften it. You choose your words carefully. You choose your timing carefully. You know how to keep conversations light and steady. You know how to keep things from tipping. You are aware of how much space you take. You keep yourself measured. You do not dominate a room. You do not linger too long on your own needs. You try to be pleasant without being obvious about it. This effort feels natural. It feels like how things should be. When someone seems tired, stressed, or distracted, you lower your demands. You make yourself simpler. You tell yourself it is not the right moment. You do not want to add weight. You do not want to make things harder. Being easy feels like kindness. Your body reflects this posture. You stay relaxed on the outside. You smile easily. You nod. You keep your movements small. You do not bring sharp edges into shared space. You smooth yourself down so others do not have to adjust around you. You often listen more than you speak. When you do speak, you keep it brief. You avoid conflict. You avoid intensity. You choose what will land gently. This does not feel like hiding. It feels like cooperation. You notice when others relax around you. You notice when conversations flow without effort. You take this as confirmation. You are doing it right. You are being easy. You are not causing trouble. Being easy to be around shapes how you show up everywhere. In rooms, in relationships, in passing moments. You learn how to blend into the comfort of others without disturbing it. You move forward this way, smooth and accommodating, making sure the space stays calm as you pass through it. You bring this way of being into many situations, not just a few. It shows up wherever you are with other people. You read the room quickly. You sense what will be easiest for everyone involved. You shape yourself to fit that without much thought. This feels automatic. It feels like good manners. In conversations, you keep things flowing. You avoid saying anything that might slow the exchange down. You nod. You agree where you can. You let small things go. You do not insist on being fully understood. You would rather keep the atmosphere light than pause to clarify yourself. When there is tension in the room, you feel it immediately. You soften your voice. You shift the topic. You make a small joke or say something neutral. You help things move past the moment. You do this quietly. You do not take credit for it. You just keep things from becoming difficult. You notice how often you adjust your needs. If you are tired, you push through. If you are uncomfortable, you minimize it. You tell yourself it is fine. You tell yourself it is easier this way. You do not want to create extra work for anyone else. In group settings, you make space for others. You let them speak. You let them decide. You follow along even when you have a preference. You tell yourself it does not matter that much. You can be flexible. You can adapt. You are careful not to be demanding. You ask softly if you ask at all. You add words that make requests smaller. You say, "No worries," and "It's okay," and "Whatever works." These phrases come easily. They smooth the edges before anyone else has to. You also notice how this affects how people treat you. They relax. They rely on you. They assume you will be fine with whatever happens. Often you are. You've learned how to be low maintenance. You've learned how to keep yourself manageable. This pattern repeats without calling attention to itself. Situation after situation, relationship after relationship. You keep things easy. You keep things light. You stay agreeable. You stay out of the way. Learning to be easy to be around becomes a steady posture. It shapes how you speak, how you decide, how you show up. You move through shared spaces, smoothing the path behind you, making sure nothing catches, making sure no one has to slow down because of you. You carry this posture with you, even when it asks something from you. Being easy does not stop when you are tired. It does not pause when you are unsure. It stays in place, guiding how you respond before you notice you are doing it. You smooth things over without checking whether you want to. You adjust without asking what the adjustment costs. There is a quiet effort in this. You monitor the room, you monitor faces, you monitor tone. You notice when something might become uncomfortable, and you move quickly to prevent it. This effort rarely shows. On the outside, you seem calm. On the inside, you are paying close attention. You often set your own reactions aside. If something bothers you, you keep it light. You tell yourself it is not worth bringing up. You choose ease over accuracy. You choose comfort over honesty. This choice does not feel dramatic. It feels reasonable in the moment. It feels like the right thing to do. Over time, you get good at not needing much. You lower your expectations. You reduce what you ask for. You learn how to be content with less input, less response, less care. This makes things easier for everyone else. It also keeps you from taking up space that might disrupt the balance. You may notice moments where you feel slightly absent even while you are present. Conversations move along smoothly, but something in you stays quiet. You are there, but edited. You are participating, but carefully. You keep your sharper edges out of the room. People often describe you as pleasant, easy, low maintenance. You hear this and you accept it. It sounds like a compliment. You do not correct it. You do not add detail. You let it stand. Being seen this way confirms that your effort is working. There is a cost to always being agreeable, even if it is subtle. You may feel tired without knowing why. You may feel overlooked without feeling hurt. You may notice that your preferences fade into the background. These feelings pass quickly. You move on. You do not dwell. You rarely let things become heavy. When emotions rise, you bring them back down. When conversations deepen, you keep them manageable. You know how to steer away from intensity. You know how to keep things safe and neutral. This skill is reliable. It keeps you included. At times, you sense the distance this creates. You are close to people, but not fully known. You are welcomed, but not leaned on. You keep relationships comfortable, but controlled. This does not feel lonely. It feels familiar. It feels like the expected outcome of being easy. You stay with this way of being even when no one is asking for it, even when there is space to be more direct, even when you could ask for more and nothing would break. The habit holds. You do not question it. This posture remains unresolved. You carry it forward. You continue to smooth, to soften, to accommodate. You keep things moving without friction. You remain easy to be around, holding yourself just enough out of the way to keep everything running smoothly. You can see this way of being clearly now. Being easy to be around has shaped how you move with others for a long time. It lives in your tone, in your timing, in the way you soften yourself before anyone else has to ask. It does not announce itself. It simply stays in place. You can acknowledge that this posture once made sense. Keeping things smooth helped you stay connected. It helped you remain welcome. It helped you avoid friction and conflict. You learned how to read what was needed and to offer that first. This was a way of staying included. This way of being has kept rooms calm. It has kept conversations moving. It has helped people relax around you. You have carried this quietly without naming it as effort. It became part of how you belong. You do not need to decide whether this posture has taken something from you. You do not need to measure what might have been different if you had taken up more space. Those questions can remain unanswered. They do not need to be resolved here. You may notice that you still smooth things over. You still make yourself easy. You still choose what will land gently. This happens without thought. It feels familiar. It feels practiced. Being easy to be around does not mean you are empty. It means you learned how to keep yourself manageable in shared space. You learned how to stay present without disturbing the balance. You learned how to be agreeable without asking for much in return. You do not need to stop doing this now. You do not need to do it more carefully either. You can let this way of being remain exactly as it is, not as a habit to fix, not as a trait to defend, just as something that has been there. You see this posture now. You name it quietly. You let it stand. You continue moving through the world with your edges softened, your presence light, and your attention tuned to what will keep things smooth, without asking this way of being to change or to explain itself.